What up, America? I'm Michael the Republican.
And I'm Adrian the Democrat.
And this is True Independence.
So, the 4th of July was very recently, right? You all tuned in the first show, which aired on the Independence Day, so thank you again for that.
Yes.
But one of my favorite things to do is eat, okay? So,
of course,
when I was shopping for my Independence Day meals and things, getting, stuff ready for the barbecue, I went by my favorite section, the snack aisle, and there were these firework Oreo cookies, Oreo flavored cookies. So it was really just Oreos with sprinkles in it. But next to that were these. These are jelly donut flavored Oreos. I think they're pretty good. Michael hadn't had them yet.
I've never had a jelly donut.
You've never had it? Oh my God, you're kidding.
I always get the cream filled.
You never had a jelly donut?
I always get the cream filled. Chocolate covered cream filled donuts are the best.
They're good, but...
Or the Oreo donut where there's Oreo crumble on top. I like those.
But you've never had a jelly donut?
Nope.
What? Oh my God.
So this will be...
I hope it's not ruined it for you. I don't know if this is great for the first donut. That could be its own thing. Oh my God. Well, try the cookie. I think it's pretty good. It tastes almost like donut. Anyway. It's pretty good. There's a little jelly in the middle. Right?
It tastes like vanilla Oreo cookie.
To me, okay, it tastes pretty much just like a regular Oreo. But it has a little jelly, a little pink thing in the middle. And it's a little sweeter. I think it smells like a donut, which is weird. It smells like a donut, but doesn't necessarily taste like one. I don't know. It's not. I just stuff in his mouth right now. I don't know. It doesn't taste good to me. That's how you talk. That's how Michael talks.
I don't know.
That's what I hear whenever he's talking. He goes, well, this her cookie is pretty good. Enjoy doing that.
It's not on the little country, but I didn't think it was quite that bad. But I mean, it was a good cookie, but
I think
it is pretty sweet, and
yeah.
And honestly, you taste the jelly more afterwards. So I think that it's great that Oreo does these like special promotion cookies for America, like with the
right. Only in America, right?
Yeah.
Where else? Where else are they?
Where are you just gonna have a jelly donut cookie?
Where else are cookies not good enough that you make them jelly filled donut cookies? Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
speaking of great American ideals.
Right. What's up?
Another great American idea is all of our problems with North Korea. It's
Oh
persisted throughout time.
North Korea is definitely not as sweet as a jelly donut.
No.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing sweet about Kim Jong-un.
No. So apparently, Kim Jong-un just had another successful missile launch. And these missile launches may not sound like they're so bad, but the idea is these missiles could one day hold nuclear bombs. And this latest missile now has a range to attack way into Canada. So all of
Alaska is in danger, basically. Well, not in danger, but like
it's vulnerable. If they ever want to do anything, they have the capability.
Right. And so I think that's a big deal. And I think that both parties are going to have different ideas on how to deal with this.
Right.
I think that it's just going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Right.
So what's your take? What's our next step as America? What are you doing next?
It's a slippery slope. So and this is one where the Trump administration is kind of where everyone else is as far as we're trying to pressure the countries in the region, China being the biggest, and also keeping the line strong in South Korea. So if we put the pressure on China with trade, taxes, and that kind of thing, to make them, act like North Korea's big brother and tell me to knock it off.
North Korea basically has, when it comes down to it, two allies.
Right.
Russia and China.
Russia and China.
And so what it's up to us to do is to make sure that we are telling China that they need to make sure that they keep them in line, or we're going to come back and get back at China and get back at North Korea, basically, if they get out of line. So we do that through sanctions and things like that. We're trying to keep this like on the diplomatic side, just with economics and things like that.
Right.
But the more these missile tests are being done, the more propaganda they're spreading against us.
That we're not doing anything about it.
The more that we're going to be right. It's not good for us. We need to be stepping it up. That's one thing that I disagreed with in the last administration. Honestly, I felt like we weren't stepping it up. I felt like we were taking away from the military. We need to build up our military. We need to be ready whenever things go down.
Right. And I'm a firm believer in efficiency, not necessarily the numbers of the military and how many ships we have or things like that. But we need to be efficient in our efforts.
We need to make sure things are getting done and we're not just there. That was a big problem the first time, I feel like.
Right.
When you go in there, you're too big and you can't handle the small area and the small things that are going on. And so I think that this time, if it comes down to it, boots are put back on the ground. We need to be ready. It doesn't need to be there doesn't need to be a draft. Honestly, I think we need to be sizable. We need to be ready. We need to make sure that we're ready to go,
right?
Because we never know when they're going to be ready to go.
Right. That's
North Korea is a loose cannon.
It is.
All means of the word. Anything that they do is unpredictable.
Right.
They have no fear. Basically, they're just doing whatever they want.
They're very bold and they're unpredictable, and I think that's why the Trump administration is kind of tiptoeing in the air and getting their feet wet a little bit and how they're dealing with it, because it's a slippery slope. We don't want to end up in some kind of nuclear World War III.
Right. Ooh. But also saying, like, slippery slope is one of, like, the cheapest, I'm not trying to cut you, but cheapest arguments for, well, we should do this because it's a slippery slope and this could turn into this.
Right.
And so, like, as much as we are trying to watch, we also don't need to be paranoid.
Exactly.
We're USA. We're ready.
Exactly.
So, but another thing that, like, talking about North Korea brings up is, like, the draft. A lot of people are talking about it. I actually had a friend one time. So, this was right when Trump was elected.
Mm-hmm. I
got a text because I'm a poli-sci major. One of my friends from back home texted me. He said, Michael, I just heard on the news that I'm going to be deported, or I'm going to have to join the army and be drafted to go fight with Russia and North Korea.
Gosh.
Fight against Russia and North Korea.
Right.
And I said, there is no draft. There's no war.
Right.
That's not a thing. So, obviously, though, it was a big enough deal to him that he thought it was serious. So,
it's a conversation.
So people are saying these things and people are acting a certain way about it, but I don't think the draft will ever be enacted again. No. Our military is really large. There's a lot of people that are just ineligible strictly for family situations. I don't think it's something you should be.
Yeah, I don't foresee the draft coming in the near future or distant future, for that matter. The military is far advanced and very efficient, compartmentalized in a way that should never be the case. If there were to be military action in North Korea or anywhere else.
There's also a lot of people that are very proud to live in America, that are very proud of what's going on here, and are ready to enlist, to do the things that need to be done to keep our country safe, and do the things like that people should do. Right. And so that's, I think, a big thing that you hear is how patriotic a lot of youth are getting. I guess, like, you hear a lot about how.
Right. Since this past election, a lot of people our age have become more inactive in politics. Part of the reason why we're doing this show is because we're trying to feel our way out. We're more interested. We hear things about Trump, hearsay on social media and things. We want to get down to the truth of the matter. And really understand the legality of it all.
Right. That's a great point. Yeah. So, on to a more happy topic. Baseball.
Oh my goodness.
America's favorite pastime.
Right. Is it still America's favorite pastime? When's the last time you watched a baseball game? Because I can't tell you when I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bruh.
I've already been to D.C. to watch games twice this year.
Recently, yeah.
I'm going to Atlanta in a week to watch a game. So I think that baseball is still strong and proud in America. It's also, I think, a big part of the reason it's America's favorite pastime is it started pre-1900. I mean, the Cubs the Cubs did have a losing streak for longer than some sports have even thought about being around. And the rules are relatively still the same.
Right.
There's a lot of it that's just the same. I think that's what makes it America's favorite pastime more so.
I guess it's relatable. I mean, the first sport I ever played was T-ball, and then baseball through the 5th grade. So it's for sure something that I think every family can connect with, playing baseball. But it's not as popular or talked about, I think, as, say, basketball and football are now. Those two sports dominate the scene in America and worldwide.
So those two are still also very, like, American-based sports. So they were developed here.
Sure.
The best athletes for those sports play where? In America.
Yeah, they do.
Porzingis did not come over here to play for some second-rate team. He came over here because he knows the best basketball is played in America.
Yeah, true.
And so I think that's a big deal to look at. Just like the Canada Football League is where you go if you're not good enough playing it anymore.
I guess.
Or if you've stirred up the pot a little too much and you need to
and
cool it off
elsewhere you can play in Canada.
Right.
But I think it is a little odd that baseball is still considered America's pastime when a lot of people our age, I feel like the majority, I guess it depends on the region and of course your background, aren't really into baseball as much as they used to be. So
speaking of regional sports.
Yeah.